Good afternoon and welcome back to the National Basketball Arena for the Hula Hoops Under-18 Women's National Cup Final between Singleton Super Value Brunell and DCU Merthy. Both teams have enjoyed a fairly smooth ride through to the final and have both had recent experience in the Cup Final, with Brunell last winning in 2014, DCU runners-up last year. I'm joined for this one by Liffey Celtics Irish International Suzanne Maguire. Suzanne, good afternoon to you.
Hi man, how are you?
Both teams no strangers to the arena, both through schools and club basketball at underage. What kind of game can we look forward to today?
Well, I think on the Brunel side, it's with Kieran at the helm there. I think you will see a traditional kind of Brunel play, which is very, very fast-paced. They're going to try and control the tempo, push the ball up the floor. And like what we have here immediately, with just 20 seconds in, we have Brunel shooting free throws. So that's kind of what they want to do, on the floor, push the tempo, and go for easy twos. For DCU, they're a little bit smaller now than they normally line up, but they will look to play the ball inside. And there's a lot of inside play, a lot of screens, a lot of sets, and look for that inside play. That can be quite effective.
And it's Machetta going to the basket, so she started off with 4 early points for Brunel as they lead 4-0. So I'll run through the starting fives for Brunel. It's number 5, Laura Morrissey, number 8, Kira O'Shea, number 13, Alex Machetta, number 14, Megan Hartnett, and number 15, Amy Murphy. For DCU Mercy, it's number 4, Anna Brennan, number 6, Ruth Fennell, number 8, Rachel Housen, number 10, Sarah Garbely, and number 11, Rebecca Brennan. So a quick start for Brunel, as you talk about getting up and down the floor, a couple of fast breaks. Are we expecting to see that the whole game?
Yeah, I don't think DCU will be happy with the first 2 possessions with 2 turnovers. Far too easy for Brunel to get down the floor. So, and again, there's 3 turnovers in a row. I don't think Joan will be too happy with the girls. They're not getting a shot off in the first minute. So they need to kind of clean that up a little bit and get themselves going.
Of course, DCU were in the final last year against Glanmire when they had a fairly bad start to that game, more through Glanmire's 3-point shooting, as they couldn't miss in the first quarter. But as the game went on, they got back into it, so I'm sure they won't panic early.
No, not at all. And that was an excellent Glanmire side last year that they played against, and they really fought back hard. So again, the characteristics of the DCU team under Coach Black is that they won't give up, and they'll keep on going through all the way to 40 minutes.
So Amy Murphy with the 3. Comes up short, and it'll be DCU ball. And it'll be point guard Anna Brennan to bring the ball up.
Anna is the daughter of assistant coach and manager Pat and Nula Brennan, and has secured her position on the under-18 Irish panel. So really, really matured over the past season or 2.
And a fierce fight under the boards for a loose ball with Brennan. I think it was Sarah Morrissey. Can't see. It wasn't actually. It was Laura Morrissey, the 2 sisters. Sarah being the oldest on the Brunel team, and straight away we see a full court press from DCU that nearly results in a turnover, but the dive in Rebecca Brennan just knocks out of bounds, and it'll go back to Brunel. And Machetta brings it up under pressure from Brennan. Eventually just a little bit too much pressure from Brennan, and she picks up what I think could be her second foul of the game. It is. So 2 fouls early for their point guard. Is that going to be a little bit of a worry for them?
It is a little bit. I was about to say that DCU have the speed at the guard spot to kind of challenge Brunel and put a full court press on there. Disappointing that Anna stuck her hand in very late there. They had them under pressure, so again, that's going to be a difficult one for them to see through for the rest of the game.
Shot from Maguire, from Hartnett, comes short, and this time the ball's in the hands of Brennan. Inside to Gowley. Brennan looks inside again for Housen. Housen goes up off the basket, and she had a huge game in last year's final. Another Irish international. Is she going to be one of their main scorers inside for DCU?
Well, straight away, when you look on the floor there, you can see just how big Rachel is and how dominating she can be inside. DCU's game very much is around their inside players. She hasn't come on the floor yet, but again, with Aoife McGuire going to come on the floor, they have a big presence inside. That's kind of what they like to play. So I would expect Rachel to be fundamental. If they're going to win this game today, she's going to have a big game for them inside.
So Amy Murphy will go to the line for Brunell. Misses the first as just below us, Elizabeth Black is getting ready to check in. And in she comes for Ruth Fennell. And Coach Black was talking about Elizabeth being one of their best defenders on the court here. Has she been put in purely for defensive purposes to try and slow down Brunell's early start?
I think Joan would trust Elizabeth with the basketball too. So I think on the offensive end, I think she'll run the system of basketball they want. She's pretty good at getting into the paint and creating. But between that and the defensive pressure they'll need on the guards, I think that's the reason for having her in the game right now.
And Morrissey eventually collects the rebound. A nice drive from Kira O'Shea, but she can't finish. And there you see the tenacity of Black as she dives on a loose ball. And a foul was called against Megan Hartnett. So it's 6:46 to go in the first quarter of the Hula Hoops Women's Under-18 National Cup Final. It's Brunell leading DCU, Mercy 5-2. Brennan for three, good rebound from Howson, and Howson goes off the backboard, and she's all four of DCU's points early. Machetta had a great start, nice pass inside to Hartner, but she can't get control of the ball and just shuffles her feet, and it'll be a travel and go back to DCU. So Suzanne, with just about 4 minutes gone, it's 5-4, and is both teams settling into it, or who will be the happiest of the two coaches at the moment?
I think DCU definitely will be the happiest, considering their start, going the first 2 minutes or so without getting a shot off. Definitely will be a lot happier. I think Kieran will rue some of their missed chances, some of their missed layups there on the fast break to have a bit more of an extension in the lead. There we just saw Anna going to the basket. Tough cookie. She may be undersized, but she plays a lot bigger than what she is. Going to the basket there. Inbound ball, surprisingly there. I thought she was going to the basket.
Yeah, the basket was waved off. To the disappointment of DCU. But Howson comes up with a loose ball. And out to Black. And it will be Brennan. The long range two doesn't quite get it, but Howson again's on the rebounds, but good pressure from Laura Morrissey. Gets it into the hands of Amy Murphy, and Murphy looks to go all the way, but again, great stand under the basket from Gowberly, and Howson cleans up the boards, and here comes DCU on the break, but Gowberly can't quite get the ball on the floor in time. And I was talking to Coach Black earlier, and she talked about maybe some of the reasons for them losing last year was the lack of their bench, and they got tied down the stretch. So she's put in a lot of work with their bench. We've seen a couple already. Are they really going to play a huge part? You would know a couple of those players, as we see another player on the bench, Cleona Hamill, getting ready to come in. Are they going to play a big part today in today's game?
I think what Joan looks for the players to come in off the bench is their commitment on the defensive end. I suppose is to play solid defense, is to complete passes, very, very fundamentally driven, and then go to their strengths for offensive points. So once they can contribute that way, then they do play a huge part in what they need to do.
Black on the fast break, squeezes through three players but can't finish with the left hand, and it will be Murphy trying to go coast to coast. Morrissey with a long three, and Morrissey raises the roof as she hits a three. Brunell up 8-4. Both sides getting some good opportunities, but not quite finishing in the early going.
Yeah, the pace is quite fast here. You saw Elizabeth go coast to coast there, split through almost all the defense, and just a little bit unlucky with her finish. And then vice versa down the other end, you had Amy Murphy go almost coast to coast. So the pace is fast. I think for DCU, they're going to need to try and control that tempo a little bit. This suits Brunell a lot more than I think will suit them for the entirety of the game.
Machetta, ball on the floor, goes past Black, but Black manages to get herself back in the game, but Machetta doesn't give up and she gets another two, takes her personal tally to 6 out of Brunell's early 10 points, and it's a 6-point lead for Brunell as they lead 10-4. And Elizabeth Black inside to Gaublin. A nice cut from Gaublin. She goes, but the basket's waved off, and it will be end-line ball to DCU, and I think that'll be the 4th foul on Brunell. Team foul, so their next one will be team penalty. And subs coming in for Brunell is Sinead Warren. She replaces Laura Morris, who's on 2 fouls.
Yeah, I think both coaches recognise it's going to be a long game, so trying to get their bench in earlier on, rest some of their players so that they can be present for the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game, where this one might go.
So Housen with another basket. She's all 6 points, and she gets a block there. All 6 points for DCU. And as you talked about, the inside game for DCU is probably one of their main things. In terms of shooting outside, have they got many shooters that they can turn to if needed?
Well, I mean, I've been present and witnessed Anna Brennan not afraid to pull up for threes and put them away. Generally, when you're looking at the team they're playing against, Brunell would be a lot more comfortable on the 3-point line. That's the kind of style of basketball they play. So the threat on the outside from DCU is not so much on the 3-point play, but more on the penetration and kicking. And that's what we should expect to see from the likes of Anna and Elizabeth in that guard spot.
So Aoife Maguire, you mentioned her being a big part inside, and she checks into the game for Brennan.
A steal by Elizabeth Black there.
Black unfortunately is called for travel there.
So this is a change now. This is the size that we'd be quite used to seeing DCU. So you got three big bodies there on the 3, 4, and 5 spots. So you should be able to see the likes of Aoife be quite effective offensively.
A good fast break, but Warren can't finish, but great hustle by her, and she gets the ball off House, and then it'll go back to Brunell ball. Machetta look to set things up for Brunell. Murphy's looking someone past. In the end, she puts the ball on the floor against Housen and somehow manages to scoop it up and underarm and into the basket for 2, and it's 12-6.
Yeah, nice little sidestep there, and she took the ball almost like a finger roll and put it in there.
Housen to a partner inside Gowley, and Gowley with a lovely finish inside. And now we see our first timeout of the game by DCU Mercy as they trail Brunell. No, actually it's been called off. Not quite sure what's happened there. No, it was DCU that called the timeout and DCU that scored, so it can't be called a timeout. So the pressure, full court pressure against, and Elizabeth Black comes up with a steal but stepped out of bounds as she did it, and now there will be a timeout. So in the Hula Hoops Under-18 Women's National Cup Finals, Brunell leading DCU Mercy by 12-8. Welcome back here. Should rejoin us, 2:50 to go. It's 12-8 to Brunell. Don't forget, you can tweet us at bballirl using the hashtag Hula Hoops Cup. We'd love to know your thoughts. There's a lovely move inside, and it's Sinead Warren gets her first 2 of the game and extends the lead 14-8.
Yeah, it's a nice play by Brunell. They're keeping their sets quite high, which is grabbing Rachel out of the middle of the paint, and that's creating some space behind there for the Brunell guards.
And Housen simply hasn't missed for DCU. She's 8 of their 10 inside. Don't forget, still to come today is the Hula Hoops Senior Women's National Cup Final at 2:30 live on the stream between Oblet Dynamos and NUIG Mystics, as a foul is called on Black. That'll be her first. And then the women's showpiece event live on TG Car this afternoon, early evening at 5:15 tip-off, is the Hula Hoops Women's National Cup Final, a repeat of last year's final with Team Montenoti Hotel and Payabel Calesta. But unlike last year's final, it promises to be a very close affair this year. Suzanne, whilst on the subject, obviously playing with Liffey Celtics in that league, are you expecting a close game tonight, and what will be the big differences for the women's game?
I think for that game later on, it's simply going to be on Calester to try and control the Glanmire tempo. We know exactly how Glanmire like to play, and when they're pushing the ball and creating fast break opportunities and keeping the tempo quite high, they're virtually unstoppable. It's very hard to play against them. So I think if Calester can be disciplined, take their opportunities and balance their offense between inside and outside, they'll be there or thereabouts at the end of the game.
After last night's win for Temple Ogue in a hugely entertaining game as they run out winners by 3 against GCD Swords Thunder, I think everyone is hoping for a similar affair from the women's game, and I'm sure it will be. As subs come in for Brunell, Laura Morrissey checks back in, and also first time, or back into the game for Kelly Murphy, first time in the game for Kelly Murphy. As again we see pressure from DCU. It's Warren that brings the ball over under tight pressure from Maguire, but she gets it into the hands of Amy Murphy, who is sharing point guard responsibilities here. And Murphy will take a 3. Huge stop from Murphy, and Murphy's had a good start to the game, and it's 19-11 to Brunell in the early going.
Yeah, Amy, by all accounts, has come into a great bit of form lately. Great feedback from her school's contribution, and you can see her here today. Very unassuming, but a great all-round player there, so be highly effective for Brunell, and DCU are going to have to figure a way of keeping her quiet.
So Brunell missing one of their main scorers in Andrea Moynihan, and yet they still managed to put up 19 points in this first quarter. Will Kieran be extremely happy with the way they've played this first quarter?
I think you see that about a Brunell team, which makes them really good and very admirable to watch, in that they're all quite unassuming and they're all not afraid to step up and take shots and take the responsibility. So yes, it's not great to come in with one of your main scorers absent, but he'll have his team here ready to step in there and make up the point difference.
So Machetta somehow managed to keep hold of the ball, but eventually kicks it out of bounds. And with just under a minute to go, it's DCU trailing Brunell 19-11. So Elizabeth Black will bring the ball up. As Brunell sit back in his zone, it's into the hands of Housen, who's had a great first quarter. Nice drive from Hamill, and eventually it's reversed to Black. Black takes a long 2, doesn't get it, but good hands on it from Hamill, but she can't keep hold of the ball, and it will be Murphy to bring it up for Brunell. So they try and extend their lead. Murphy pulls up for a long 2, doesn't go, and rebound by Gaubali. Housen in the corner, looking for an open Hamill, who gets all the way to the basket. Great move from Hamill. She evades the defense, and with 16 seconds to go, DCU pulled it back to 6.
It's a nice take by Cleaner there, not afraid to get stuck in.
So the clock goes to 7. 6, and Warren just finds some space between the two DCU players, and she's fouled and will go to the line for 2 shots. So down with 5.9 seconds to go in this first quarter. Just sum up the first quarter and who will be the happiest of the 2 coaches.
Well, I think definitely Brunell. I think they've come out, they've executed their game plan really well. They've managed to take the size from DCU out of the key, which has created space behind there for the guards to get stuck in. On the defensive end, while we know that Rachel's got off to a really good start, it's 13 points. So, I mean, that's for DCU to correct going forward. That's where their advantage is to really need to play.
So DCU turn the ball over, 2 seconds to go. Brunell throw it up from half court. Not a long way off, but so at the end of the first quarter, the Hula Hoops Women's Under-18 National Cup Final. It's Singleton Super Valley Brunell lead DCU Mercy on a scoreline of 20-13. So welcome back to the National Basketball Arena for the Hula Hoops Women's Under-18 National Cup Final. The early shot from Morrissey for Brunell, leading 20-13 against DCU Mercy. Black to the baseline to Housen and inside to Maguire. She can't score, and eventually Murphy gets a foot in the ball for Brunell, and it will remain with DCU with 10 on the shot clock. Inside to Gowley. Good interior passing, but just goes astray, and here comes Machado on the break for Brunell, and fouled by Black. And that's going to be her second foul. I thought it was her third, but it's actually only her second foul. So again, we see the speed of Brunell from the missed shot getting down the court quickly.
Yeah, and it was the pass to Aoife, who was cutting into the lane exactly where he wanted, and the ball just went through her hands. I think DCU are still not really settled into this game. Balls flying through their hands, they're kind of missing box outs, they just seem a little bit starstruck out there, so they need to kind of focus back in there.
Of course, most of DCU Mercy played in this same final last year, but the player you mentioned there, Aoife Maguire, was one player that didn't play in the final last year. She's just come through this year, so it will be her first time, and having played in a few finals yourself, is there a little bit of nerves your first time playing in front of a National Cup crowd in the arena? There's a huge three there for me from Maguire as we talk about it.
That will help her, for sure, that will help her. There is, I mean, like, it's when you talk to players about coming into the National Cup final, it's really about kind of staying in the moment and staying present. I'm really focusing on the fundamentals of basketball, because you know it's cup weekend, and your imagination can get away with you for a little bit if you don't stay in the moment. So I think making that 3-point shot should hopefully settle down Aoife, and then we'll see where we go from here now.
Housen finds Maguire, and Maguire, great pass inside of Gowley, and she scores. And there we see the three inside players of Housen, Maguire and Gowley playing a little triangle and finish off inside, and that's what you were talking about earlier with their strength inside. Absolutely.
I mean, that is classic when we play against DCU of what they like to do. Their inside players move particularly well, and then when you have someone like Aoife who can penetrate with that kind of size and dish off, then they become very effective. So that's good for Coach Black now to see her inside players getting going.
So Murphy finds Morrissey, and Morrissey back to Machete in the corner, but the pass goes astray, and there'll be a half-court violation.
And we see a timeout there by Brunell. So Coach O'Leary is definitely not happy with what he's seen there, so need to sit down and talk it over.
So Brunell take a timeout with 8:26 to go. It's Brunell leading 22-18. So welcome back, 8:26 to go. So DCU had a great little spell there at the start of this second quarter. So timeout from Kieran O'Leary. What will he be talking about in that timeout? As Howson just missed the little chippy but gets own rebounds, and it goes back to actually Brunell called for a travel. So timeout from Kieran. What would he be trying to get through to his team?
I mean, when you're out there now, they have a difficult matchup inside. I think they got to put a bit more pressure on the guards to try and prevent those easy passes inside, and maybe face up and face guard some of that post action there. It is a challenge for them. They need to try and push those guys out of the middle of the floor and force them into shooting shots.
Great finish from Gowley off the glass, and she's really come into the game in this last few minutes. And DCU's inside game is starting to take dividend as Machetta grabs the missed shot from Murphy, but great double team in the corner from Howson and Black, but a foul is called. I think it's gone against Howson in the end, and that'll be her second. As into the game comes Kira O'Shea for Brunell, and she's replacing Kelly Murphy. Shot from Warren. Warren makes another three, and Sinead Warren didn't start, but she's been hugely effective since she come in. I think that's her second or third, possibly third basket.
There's one thing you know about Brunel players, that all of them can shoot that long shot.
Long three from Gowley, but Howson grabs the rebound, but a jump ball's called. It will stay for DCU Mercy on the possession arrow. So it's Brunel leading 25-20. Howson. A rare three-point shot from Brennan for DCU. But good rebound from Gowley, and she gets out to Maguire. This time it'll be Black, fires some long two. It doesn't go on a rebound, Murphy. And Murphy, as is often the case, looks to push the ball for Brunel. Finds Brennan, Morrissey, excuse me, and it goes back to Morrissey. Morrissey will take a three for Brunel. Bounced off and good rebound from Gowley. And Howson gets it forward to Black, who's a free one at the basket. Makes a good pass there, but just can't quite be handled by Maguire. And ends up in the hands of Warren, but again, great hustle from Black, as a combination of Warren, Black and Morrissey end up on the floor, and it will be Brunel ball on the possession hour this time.
Well, you've seen there in the last 2 or 3 possessions by Brunel, with that inside size of DCU, they've been forced outside to shoot 3-point shots. And when they go, you know, they're very effective, but they need to establish an inside presence too.
Warren tries to do that by going to the basket, but good defense from Howson, and Aoife Maguire cleans up the rebound. Again, a jump ball. And this time it'll be Brunel. Nice drive from Maguire as she's fouled by Kira O'Shea, and it'll be 2 shots. Maguire hits the first. So don't forget, still 2 games to go. The Hula Hoop Senior Women's National Cup Final, 2:30 live on the stream in Oblit Dynamos and NUIG Mystics. Followed on TG Car at 5:15. The Hula Hoops Women's National Cup Final between Team Montnotte Hotel and Pyrewell Colesta. As Murphy takes a long range 2. And the lead stays at 6. Howson finds the back door. Howson, a rare miss from her, but grabs her own rebound. Good defense this time from Brunel, and Machetta looks to push the pace. Warren gets the ball wide, and O'Shea back into the hands of Morrissey. There's nowhere to go at the moment for Brunel, as good defense from DCU. And DCU just overstretched themselves there. So they had a great defensive effort from DCU, but with Brunell nowhere to go, they've ended up fouling and bailing them out a little bit.
Yeah, you see Brunell dotted around the 3-point line there, and then getting the ball into Amy's hands, and really good defense for forcing it down the baseline, and as has been for a couple of defensive plays, bailing them out with putting their hands in, not playing straight up and sending them to the free throw line. So something for Coach Black to address with her team, I think, at halftime is their defensive pressure towards the end of the play.
So 5:38 to go. It's Singleton, Super Valley, Brunell 28, DCU Mercy 21. Black drives the basket, nice floating shot down the lane from Black, and back to a 5-point game. And DCU just hanging in there at the moment.
Yeah, it's a very important part of the game now. I suppose we're approaching halfway through the second quarter. DCU won't want this lead to extend past 5 points. And obviously Brunel will be looking to extend it further out. So where teams are at the halftime can be quite important to their mental ability, I suppose, into the second half.
We saw the same happen yesterday. Great defensive stop from DCU, but the shot was just released before the shot clock went off, and I think it was Sarah Gowley that caught the ball and thought that it'd been a violation and just shuffled her feet for a travel, but she gets lucky as Brunel turning over from the end line ball. As the younger of the two Morrissey sisters, Sarah checks in for the first time in place of Amy Murphy. Black inside to Howson. Howson guarded by the much shorter Warren, but does a good job, and Maguire tries to get a left-hand scoop off the ball, but doesn't make it, and Machetta slows it down a little bit for Brunel. Hands of Warren, who's been really effective since she's come on. Morrissey, Machetta fakes the shot, managed to get past the defense, but can't finish, and Black with a rebound and a great pass forward, and it will be Brennan, and Brennan eventually gets the roll, and there we saw DCU starting to push the pace a little bit.
Yeah, I think that was a good, again, Elizabeth Black with her head up, finding Anna on the left-hand wing there, running the lane, and gave the ball up, let the ball do the work for her, and Anna pulled up for a nice little two.
And DCU's defense has really stepped up a little bit, but as we talk, just Elizabeth Black just falls asleep and waits for that pass to come to her, and a great basket from Morrissey. She jumps in and finishes, and Brunel still lead by 5 as Howson looks inside for Maguire. Maguire back to Howson. And again, the inside trio work well. Howson gets the missed shot from Gowley and gets it back into her hands. And Gowley does a great job of getting fouled. I think that's gone against Sarah Morrissey. It has, so Sarah Morrissey gets her first foul. And just the sheer size of DCU is taking effect both offensively and defensively at the moment.
Yeah, you see Amy Murphy checking back into the game there on the last offensive play. I think Brunel really need her contribution either from a passing point of view or to score, so she's back in the game. For DCU, I think they need to take the time around the basket. They have the size, but they seem to be losing their position on the floor, so turning around, they're not in the place where they should be for her scoring, so they need to settle down inside. I think they're virtually unstoppable to stop in there.
Good defense on Black, just slows down Laura Morrissey. She gets back to Murphy. Murphy takes a three. She's hit a couple already. A good rebound inside, but blocked from Howson. As Kiro Shea tries to go up, but Howson's long arms get the ball, and it's Brennan from the corner. But Brennan does a great job of hustling back and just getting the ball from Machetta, but Howson picks the ball up just inside the front court and steps over into the back court, so it'll be a half-court violation. So 3:04 to go in the Hula Hoops Women's Under-18 National Cup Final. It's Brunel leading by 4, 30-26. As Murphy, over the long outstretched arms of Rachel Howson, can't finish, and here come DCU with a chance to put it back to within 2 or 1 as Howson, great catch and great composure. You talked about the composure inside there, and Howson showed it on that occasion.
Yeah, again, Rachel runs the floor really, really well, and just, I think Aoife could see that she was slightly ahead of her defensive player and put the ball up there for her to go get.
Morrissey for 3, doesn't get it. Howson turns the ball over, as Howson gets her hands on the ball, it'll be a jump ball. So Brunell couldn't take advantage of the steal, but it will be their ball again as we're about to take a break for timeout. So with 2:26 to go, it's Brunell leading the Hula Hoops under-18 Women's National Cup final by a score of 30-28. So welcome back, it's Brunell with the ball, leading by 2. Macheta with a 3, doesn't go, rebound Howson. Howson gets the ball into Elizabeth Black's hand. An inside pass to Maguire, but I think it was just tipped. It was just tipped, which took it out of the hands of Howson, so it will be DCU ball. Comes out Brennan. Maguire looks to put the ball on the floor, but good defense. Brunell gets it to Galbly, and Galbly tries to find Howson inside, and Howson gets a tip or not. But good hands from Murphy, managed to tip it over the end line. So 6 seconds on the shot clock. It'll be DCU ball from the end line again, and they'll need to get a quick shot off as they try and tie the game for the first time since 0-0. And Murphy avoids Galbly, who's on the floor, to get it, but a good rebound from a combination of Howson and Black. And it's inside to Howson. Howson finds a cut in Galbly, but she can't finish. And this seems like the longest offense of all time as they keep getting offensive rebounds.
Yeah, if you look at the back line there of Brunell, they're very much undersized in that 2-3 zone, and that's the sort of play there you're going to expect is just throwing the ball up to Rachel there, who should be able to catch it. You know, a lot of defenders around her, so she did extremely well there to get the foul. But if she can play that for 40 minutes, then that looks good for DCU. Yeah,
she's noticeably a good head and shoulders above everyone else inside there. As Brunell very small at the back of zone, but Black just steps on the line. I think it was called a 2, but great shot, and Elizabeth Black ties the game with 1:30 to go in this first half. Murphy, nowhere to go on the baseline. She steps out of bounds. Of good defense.
Yeah, I think we mentioned Elizabeth coming off the bench for DCU, and her contribution today has been excellent. Just good decision making, taking her shots, getting the ball to her inside players, really running the team very effectively.
Brennan, inside to the other impressive bench player, Maguire. Maguire finds Howson, and good pressure from Maguire, manages to get it back in the hands of Howson, who can't find the cut in Galbly, and Alex Macheta, who started off with the first 4 points of the game for Brunell, fakes the 3, so just under a minute to go, we're tied at 30. Murphy goes to the basket, and she's fouled. And that's gone against Aoife Maguire. That'll be her second foul. And Murphy puts Brunell back in the lead from the free throw line. But can't connect on the second. Brennan slows down for Sarah Galbly, and Galbly finished off the backboard. And DCU take their first lead of the game at 32-31 with 40 seconds to go. Good defense from Black, doesn't want to pick up her third foul though. It's in the hands of Murphy. Long shot from Morrissey from way downtown. So with 23 seconds to go. The long pass from Brennan. And a chance to take the last shot of the quarter there for DCU, but they've just rushed it a little bit.
Yeah, she should have drove in there and committed the defense to her to give Elizabeth a little bit of an easier break. But I think she saw the pass. I thought she saw the pass and put it up there a little bit too high for Elizabeth. But
so the clock ticks, 10 seconds to go in this first half. Ball's in the hands of Murphy. Murphy takes a three. Comes up short. Howson rebounds with 3 seconds to go. There'll be a long shot. I don't think Sarah's going to get off on time. She doesn't. So at the end of the first half of this under-18 Hula Hoops National Cup semi-final, Suzanne, just a quick word. Brunell started off, had a great two-thirds of the first half, but it's DCU that lead in the halftime.
Yeah, I think DCU have finally gotten into the point now where they understand their strengths, and you can see that the play of the inside players has been far too dominating for Brunell. So I think that's the main reason why you can see them advancing and taking a slight lead going into the second half.
So join us in about 9.5 minutes time for the second half of this game. It's DCU leading single and super values Brunell 32-31. So welcome back to the National Basketball Arena for the second half of this Hula Hoops Women's Under-18 National Cup Final. We've a tight one here as DCU Mercy trailed for the majority of the first half, but right at the end took a lead as they lead 32-31 as Murphy gets the rebound. So joined by Suzanne McGuire. Suzanne, Brunell led for a long time, but DCU are up at the moment. What's been the big difference between the two teams at halftime?
I think Brunell jumped out to an early lead with some good defensive pressure. I think DCU were a little bit took a little bit of time to get into the basketball game, and they were able to penetrate and knock down a few three-point shots, which is Brunell's type of game. I think for DCU, what happened then was they went a lot bigger inside, and the combination of Zara, Rachel, and Aoife McGuire is quite challenging for the Brunell team to stop. So points in the paint from the first half, you can see, is 22 for DCU's 32. So that's where they're most effective, and that's where I think the game will be won and lost for them.
And a nice cut from Macheta, but she runs into the brick wall that is Sarah Gabley inside. But it will be Brunell's ball, and we see DCU are hugely successful with Elizabeth Black and Aoife McGuire in that second quarter especially, but they've gone back to the starting lineup with Fennell coming in. Is that going to pay dividends? Is that just them sticking to what they normally do?
I think here Jones probably playing the long game. I think she realises that when it comes down to the wire, she's going to need Aoife on the floor. She's going to need Elizabeth on the floor. So giving them a couple of minutes now to rest a little bit and going out with the starting five wasn't so successful for them to start off with, and it hasn't been here either. So she'll need to watch this one.
Aoife Brennan is fouled. Good hustle from her, but it will be DCU ball. The foul's, I think, gone against Megan Hartnett. No, actually, it's gone Amy Murphy. So Brennan inside, and Howson is hounded by three Brunell players, and on the possession arrow it will be Brunell ball. So Laura Morrissey brings it up for Brunell, finds Macheta on the wing. Macheta into the hands of Hartnett, who had quite a quiet first half. They'll be looking for a bit more scoring from her in the second half. I know there's someone, Megan Hartnett is someone that Brunell really look to score their points. But Megan was scoreless in that first half, so Coach O'Leary will be looking for a big second half from her as Morrissey of the Laura variety hits a huge three. And much like the first quarter, at the start of the game, it's Brunell have come out quicker in the second half.
Yeah, they have. Their opening score was getting Amy a nice basket on the foul line, and they're a long three-pointer, which is what they'll do for the game. I think with DCU here now are going back to what probably wasn't as effective for them in the start of the first half, which was long-distance shooting.
Fennell missed the three, and then Brennan missed the three, but it is Fennell that fights her way to a jump ball along with Laura Morrissey, and it will back to DCU ball. A lovely shot from Brennan in the corner as DCU show some good ball movement. It's back to a two-point game, but Brunell wastes no time as Macheta got away with a double dribble there. And a long three from Morrissey, bounces out, but rebounded by Hartnett, but the long arms of Howson blocks that, and eventually a foul is called against Kira O'Shea. So, one Brennan to the other Brennan. Back to Fennell. Inside to Howson. Howson finds Sarah Gabley, and Gabley scores that one. And she's as the game's gone on, she's come into her own more and more offensively.
Yeah, Zara really has developed under Joan over the past couple of seasons to be a very effective player defensively and also on the offensive end. Really nice touch around the basket, as we've seen today.
Here comes Brennan, finds Fennell, and Star Gabley again. She's taken her total to 11 points, but can't connect on that occasion. Machetta slows it down to Brunell and goes across the hands of O'Shea, and Murphy with a nice touch in the middle of the lane here. She puts Brunell back in the lead, and the substitutes we talked about for DCU earlier on in the game, Maguire and Black, getting ready to check in below us. The rebound from Murphy on the missed shot from Fennell. O'Shea keeps hold of the loose ball and Fennell fouls her. And that'll be her second foul, as it's Rebecca Brennan and Ruth Fennell that will give way to Black and Maguire.
This is a harder matchup now for Amy. I think she had an advantage a little bit at the start of this half in that mid-post range there, but now with Aoife Maguire guarding her, it's going to be a little harder for her to take the ball into the basket.
So Howson on the outside, into the hands. Howson, but again, great hustle inside from Laura Morrissey. Doesn't give Howson a chance to turn and square up to the basket.
Yeah, I think that's Brunell's tactic now. So as soon as the ball's going in there, Kieran sending guards just with their hands down to take the ball from Rachel. It's been 2 or 3 times now that she's had difficulty in moving in that low post area.
Morrissey looking for a pass, finds Machetta. It's O'Shea from the corner. Doesn't go, but great rebound from Murphy. Murphy throws it up and gets a roll, and Amy Murphy's doing a great job in this second half inside. She's really the only inside player for Brunel at the moment.
Yeah, and she's given them that balance that they actually need. They haven't been shooting the 3-point shot particularly well this game, but Amy's been able to move into that high post area and be quite effective in there on the offensive rebounds. Over 2 or 3 DCU, very tall players, she got in there, so she's instrumental to Brunel's success today.
So that's 14 points for Murphy, who's played inside and outside here. She was point guard 1 minute, now she's the centre, showing her versatility as Morrissey connects on another 3, and this time it's a timeout from Joan Black below us, as Brunel have a great run, and with 4:30 to go in this third quarter, it's Brunel leading DCU Mercy on a scoreline of 43-36. So it'll be Anna Brennan setting up a play for DCU on the back of their timeout. Maguire with a long 2, doesn't go, and rebound Brunel. So timeout from DCU after a great run from Brunel. They're back to the lineup that saw success for them in that second quarter. What will they be looking to try and change and get into to get themselves back into the game here?
Well, we saw towards the end of the first half just where effectively they are on the offensive end, and that's the movement between the 3 post players and those high percentage easy scores. But a lot of credit to Brunel. They are a tough group. They do not give up, and they will keep on fighting through this game to the end. And it's been quite successful for them now in the last 2 minutes of the game, with Amy Murphy really shining inside, and then that long three to give them a 7-point lead.
So a foul on Macheta, but again, the two players talk about Macheta and then Murphy. So it was Hartnett actually that came up with the ball in the end, as Morrissey being paid close attention by Brennan. Great drive from Macheta. She can't get it to go, but a foul on Black. And that'll be Black's third.
Yeah, I think a little bit of experience there playing over, so a pass to the ball and a very quick face cut there to get the ball back and go against Elizabeth to the basket.
So Alex Macheta moves to 11 points. She makes it 12. And all of a sudden, it's a 9-point lead for Brunell and a bit of a worrying time for Coach Joan Black.
Yeah, they just got to settle down. They're being bullied around a little bit in there, and you can see anywhere that Rachel's moving around in there, there's two players surrounding her, so they're trying to cut her influence out.
Another fantastic shot from Elizabeth Black, but crucially that's her second shot when she's just put her toe on the line. It's been a two, a long two. Just have to keep an eye on that. Good outlet. Howson chases that one down. Maguire finds Black, buoyed by that shot. She goes down the lane, doesn't get a roll, but rebound Howson, and eventually to Sarah Galbally, and Galbally scores, and she's fouled. And we talked about it getting out of control to 9 points, and all of a sudden it's back to 5 with a chance to get it back to 4.
Yeah, and Zara, they're very effective on the offensive boards, and just that really nice touch around the basket. She's been really, really good for them today, just very composed around there and giving them the extra points that they need.
So Gowley gets to 14 points. And it's back to a 4-point lead with 2:40 to go. Macheta tries to find a little bit of space in the key, doesn't, but dives on the floor, and a great hustle from Morrissey, and I think Brennan on the floor. Yeah, it's Brennan on the floor, and it will be DCU ball.
Yeah, you can see what this game means to both of these teams. I think we had 4 or 5 players there jumping on the ball to try and secure possession. It's really good for coaches to see their players who want it so much.
So Brennan finds Black. A lot of space on the outside for DCU Mercy, but they're more interested in trying to get it inside, and and unfortunately that has gone a foul against Elizabeth Black, so that's going to be 4, so we'll have to see a change. And just below us there, it's Cleona Hamill that's getting ready to come in. How much is that going to be a full loss? Elizabeth's been really influential in this in the first half and now since she came on in the second half, as she goes up 4.
A little bit unlucky there on her fourth to capture that one, but I think having been effective there for pulling them back within 4 points, I think Joan will be hoping the team can see out this quarter and get her back in early in the fourth.
It hasn't affected them at all, as the player that re-entered, Cleona Hamill, straight into the game, and she gets a steal and she's fouled, so she'll go to the line and showed her worth, as Brunello in team fouls with 2:22 to go. So don't forget, still to come at 2:30 live on the Basketball and YouTube channel is the Hula Hoops Senior Women's Cup Final between Oblet Dynamos and NUIG Mystics. That will be followed at 5:15 by the women's main event, the Hula Hoops Women's National Cup Final. It will be live on TG Car. If you're abroad, I think you can watch it on tgcar.tv. As Murphy guarded by Howson, and Macheta, nice spin move inside, but still runs into Maguire. As the ball's batted around, it's come off Maguire eventually, and with 2:06 to go, it will be Brunel ball. If you're planning on coming down for tonight's game, you can get tickets on the door, or I think you can still purchase them online. Another jump ball, so I've managed to get to the third quarter before I have to ask this question, which you'll be in a better position. I'll hold it until after the timeout, and I won't give you a clue, just to We'll wait till we come back in. So at the timeout, it's Brunell 45, DCU 43. So 2:04 to go in the Hula Hoops Women's Under-18 National Cup Final. It's Brunell leading DCU Mercy by 2. As rebounded by Maguire. Maguire gets into Howson. Howson slows it down. Nice pass inside from Hamill, but and Sarah Gowley gets her own rebound and somehow managed to evade the defense and scoop it in off the board.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how she managed to get that shot up there, but that's, you know, on days like today when you can score like that, then you have to be fairly happy and feeling fairly lucky.
So we're tied at 45, so I didn't give you a clue off air as the question was. The question is, how come in women's basketball there is so many jump balls? There's been an obscene amount in this game already.
I can't answer that question. I really can't. I think sometimes when you're looking at the fundamentals of some of the girls, I mean, they're basically did a great job there catching the ball. It's protecting of the ball and I suppose not being afraid to get your creating the space for yourself. So we've seen it a lot here on defensive rebounds, the ball kind of hanging for guards to come in there, and I think that they need to do that, whether it's just a women's problem or not, but they need to do a better job of creating that space and maintaining possession.
A 3 from the corner from Brennan, and that's a huge 3. And as we saw at the end of the first half, DCU on a really good run, 7.1, it's 5, leading by 5 and 50-45. So a good answer on the jump ball. I used to have a theory, as there's an 8-second call from watching a lot of schools basketball.
Yeah, that's been two nice shots from Anna there. Very appropriate, like, you know, catching the ball in the corner, which have been huge for DCU. Again, to create that balance, that inside-outside game.
So 26 seconds to go. 5-point lead for DCU, and Brennan again on 3-point line. She just hit one from there, can't finish on this occasion. And Brunell will be looking for a basket as a foul is called, and they'll go to the line, so it's gone against Sarah Gowley, and she'll send Alex Macheta the chance to go to the line and cut the lead from 5. So gonna again, as the first half, Brunell looked the better team in this quarter, but as you turn around coming in the end of the quarter, it's DCU up 5.
Yeah, I mean, both teams have done a great job at responding to the runs of the other team, and that's good for a coach to see in such young players, that they can actually compose themselves and go to their strengths, which both teams have done when the other team has put a run on them. So it sets up a very, very exciting last quarter for us.
Macheta makes the second, so 16.9 to go. It's DCU by 4 in the third quarter of the Hula Hoops Under-18s Women's National Cup Final. DCU pass the ball around, it's Maguire, penetrates, takes a short corner jump shot, doesn't go, and rebounded by Murphy, but she won't get a chance to get a shot off. As there we have the end of the third quarter. It's DCU Mercy 50, Singleton Super Valley Brunell 46. Join us for the fourth. So here we go in the final quarter of the Hula Hoops Women's Under-18 National Cup Final. The 4-point lead for DCU Mercy. As Maguire misses that three and rebound from Macheta. So the teams got a chance to go to the benches and talk things over. What will the two coaches have been telling their teams in that 1 minute period they had?
Well, I suppose part of it is just to, both of them have had good spells in all quarters. So it's just to kind of try to establish that. Big play by Amy there. Defense all around her. Cuts down the right-hand side and executes a very long kind of strided layup there. So
Howson with Maguire. Maguire can't find Howson inside, and Macheta gets past Brennan, and she'll go at Gowdy, but good defense from Sarah Gowdy, and she changed her mind. Three from Morrissey, and good rebound from sister Sarah Morrissey, and it'll be another jump ball.
But again, leaves that ball a little bit too low there for the defense just to jump in there. So
I'm reliably informed that's 116 jump balls in this game so far. We're going for the record. And Sarah Gowdy is called for the foul as she protests that she was straight up, but good penetration from Amy Murphy, and she'll go to the line for two with a chance to tie the game.
Amy established high post position there, and then just rolled off Rachel there going to the basket. She looked a little out of control, so I think Zara probably bailed her out on that one.
So we're tied at 50-50, and 8 minutes 30 to go in this one. It's anyone's game as Howson gets it inside. Maguire with a nice fake pass and finds Brennan just inside the three-point line. Good rebound by Murphy. Murphy looks to start the fast break, but Brennan reads the pass, and she'll go at Murphy. And Murphy is asking for a travel, and the two referees discuss it. One called a foul, one called a travel. And I think they're going with the travel first. That ended up with a foul.
Yeah, I think it's the right call. I think the travel happened first.
So Brunell escaped that turnover. And Murphy guarded by Howson. Murphy, great move inside but can't finish. But a turnover on the outlet. And you have to say, as impressive as Rachel Howson has been inside, it's even more impressive to see someone with her stature and as an inside player picking up full court against the point guard.
Yeah, and moving extremely well, which makes Rachel very, very effective. Her foot speed there is excellent, so a good matchup for DCU.
And Maguire gets lucky there. She reached over the shoulder of Sarah Morrissey, and a jump ball's called. On the possession arrow will go to DCU, and this could come down to whoever wins the most jump balls. Good hands from Macheta. She goes fast back, great defense from Brennan, and unbelievably Macheta gets the bump off Brennan but still manages to force the ball in from a short corner.
Excellent play there. I mean, we thought Anna had her there on the defensive end, but what a great finish by Alex.
Hamill, Coach O'Leary calling for a travel there, and it looks like she might have shuffled her feet, but she got away with that one, and it's tied at 52 all. Good pressure from Hamill on Morrissey, and she doesn't get away with that one. The foul is called. The referee just warns Laura Morrissey about pushing off, but it will be her foul. And so back in the game comes Elizabeth Black on 4 fouls. Is it kind of now or never with Elizabeth? No point in holding her back any longer?
No, not at all. I think for the control that she gives the game and for her decision making, which is excellent, I think Brunell needs to have a look at that and go at her or go over her.
And Macheta takes the opportunity of Black just warming up into the game to pop a 3 over her head, and it's Brunell again leading by 3 in an up and down game And Black tries to respond from the three-point line, bouncing out, but good rebound from Howson. In fact, Howson is called for an offensive foul, pushing off against Amy Murphy. And that's Howson's third. So fouls mounting up a little bit against DCU, but 6:41 to go.
Maybe a little bit of frustration on Rachel's side. She hasn't really seen much of the ball on the offensive end this half so much, let alone this quarter. So it's a little push there on the offensive boards to try to establish the possession, which was caught by the referees.
3-point game. Brunell leading 55-52. Gowley inside. There is Howson. And Howson, just to talk about it, she finds a little bit of space and makes no mistake and brings it back to a 1-point game.
I think the tenacity of the Brunell defense kind of had the bigger players for DCU kind of pushing out and a bit afraid to play in there, but that was a nicely executed play there, and where DCU is far more effective. So they're going to need more of that towards the end of the game.
And Machetta this time, after hitting a three, gets Black to commit, gets the basket, but can't finish, and it's Black sets it up into the hands of Maguire. Maguire being paid close attention by Sarah Morrissey, but good drive from Hamill. Gets her own rebounds, 3 seconds on the shot clock. Foul's called against Sarah Morrissey. She protests her innocence, and that'll be her third. Maguire, long two, doesn't go, rebound Gowley. Doesn't get it, Howson tries to get the rebound, but Murphy again, who really has been at the centre of everything for Brunell, managed to get her hands on the ball.
I'm not quite sure that even realised the shot clock was reset to 14 there, because she had to catch and shoot quite quickly. So here come Brunell.
Murphy called for the travel.
Good defence by DCU there, Amy tried to get around there and he took the extra step to try to create the space and was called for the travel.
So Hamill open the three-point line, into Gowley, finds Howson at the top of the key. They move the ball again, inside closely, and Maguire can't finish, but gets her own rebounds after a tip from Sarah Gowley. And again, DCU moving inside, missed shot from Gowley, and rebounded by Murphy, who tries to throw it long to Machetta, but it's tipped by Howson, and eventually finds its way to Hamill. Gowley somehow gets a shot up, but it's stolen out of the hands of Howson. And there's a big foul there. That's going to be the fourth on Rachel Howson. And with 4:38 to go, she'll now have to be very careful.
Yeah, the same thing. Rachel got her hands on that offensive rebound, but the ball came below her shoulders. And again, the Brunell defense has been all over her for most of the game, certainly in the second half, and got their hands on to push the ball out.
Great hands from the two players on 4 fouls, a combination of Black and Howson, and they get the steal, and they have a chance to take the lead here with a score. Gowley to Maguire. Maguire will take a three. Huge shot from Aoife Maguire, and it's DCU retake the lead, 57-55 with 4:14 to go.
Yeah, lovely patience there. The ball was moved from side to side, inside out. The players looked very relaxed, and then Aoife found a spot on top of the key there to nail that three. Big score for them.
And Hamill, actually Kira O'Shea comes back with a 2, and we're tied.
Just inside the 3-point line there, yes.
This is Hamill. And she'll find Sarah Gowley, puts the ball on the floor. Can't finish, gets her own rebound. Outside to Hamill, and she just keeps it in bounds. Howson, as the shot clock goes off, DCU didn't quite keep an eye on that shot clock. There's a couple of times now where it's got down to the end of the shot clock as a sub comes in. Anna Brennan, the point guard, comes back in, so hopefully she'll be keeping an eye on the shot clock for DCU, as it is Morrissey and Brennan just being spoken to by the referee, just to break things up a little bit. So 3:33 to go in this Hula Hoops Under-18 women's final. It's a tied game as Machetta tries to break the tie, but great block from Maguire, and another one from Maguire. Machete looks for the foul, but good hands from Maguire, and here comes DCU. And Galway off the backboard. This time she does make it, and DCU retake the lead.
Yeah, nice little find there in the high post, plenty of space, and Zara just makes one or two dribbles to the left there and banks it off the glass for a nice 2.
Rebound Sarah Morrissey from the miss from Amy Murphy. She finds Machete. Machete doesn't quite get that one, and a rebound by Sarah Galbraith. Machete looks exhausted out there as she should be. She's been up and down from the very start, and here comes Maguire, made her last 3, bounces out and rebound into the hands of Amy Murphy. She's Machete with her. Great pass from Murphy, and Machete finishes with back tie with 2:34 to go.
I don't think that's the offensive play that Joan would have wanted for her players there. I know Eva have made 1, but they didn't really need to go for a 3-point play. We're after scoring inside, so.
Long 2 from Black, rebound Howson. And a jump ball. As a timeout is called by Kieran O'Leary from Brunell. So with 2:19 to go, we've parity here. It's Brunell 59, DCU Mercy 59, and we're right back with you. So welcome back, 2:19 to go in the Hula Hoops Women's Under-18 National Cup Final. It's Amy Murphy, she's 20 points in the game along with 10 rebounds. Warren and Maguire are tied up for a jump ball.
So I'll just have that record now, Matthew.
I'll just share my previous theory was that in the women's game, because they don't jump and do so many crazy, stupid moves that men do, they stay on the floor more, so it's more contact-to-contact jump balls. But that hasn't been the case today. The majority have been diving on the floor after rebounds, so it's kind of blown my theory out of the water, which is why I'm looking for a new one. So it's tied game, under 2 minutes to go. Murphy can't finish over the top of Maguire. And Black and Suzanne coming to the crunch time. Is it about composure now?
Yeah, it really is. I think for both teams, they kind of need to execute to their strengths. The nerves will kind of settle in here a little bit. We can see there, I think Rachel just got bailed out there a little bit with a foul, but again, the ball just slipping right through her finger. So, I mean, these kids are going to be feeling the nerves down the stretch. So, going to their strengths, high percentage shooting, and I suppose taking care of the basketball.
Maguire. And Gowdy is fouled by Murphy. So with 1:33 to go, it will be Sarah Gowley that goes to the line. She's 18 points, 15 rebounds. Make that 19 points, 15 rebounds.
Huge game from Zara today. Exactly what DCU would have needed to complement their inside play.
And she makes no mistake with both those two, as it's DCU by 2. And Maguire puts a bit of pressure on Morrissey. And Morrissey's left open, but she just steps on the line for 2. But a massive 2, showed no nerves at all, and we're tied at 61.
Along with Machete on the outside, Morrissey has been huge for Kieran O'Leary's side today.
Brennan for the lead, in and out. Rebound Maguire. And it will stay with DCU with 1:10 to go, tied at 61. Two fantastic games of basketball this morning. Neptune came from behind as Brennan goes for three and Warren gets on the floor. Neptune come from behind in the 20 cup in the men's to beat St. Vincent's. And in this one we're tied with under a minute to go as Amy Murphy finds Morrissey. Good hands from Black. She'll have to be careful, she's on 4 fouls. Machetta has been the big score from the opening start for them. The shot clock's on 5 seconds, so Brunell will have to get a shot off. It's on 3. And it's O'Shea gets up in and out and rebounded on the floor by Aoife Maguire. Great hustle from here, and here comes Black. Black finds Brennan. Brennan to Howson, and Black will take a 3. This could be huge. In and out, and with 24 seconds to go, Brunell need to hold for the final shot, and Machetta just catches hold of herself in time.
I hope that DCU don't rule those last 2 shots. I mean, for them, going on to the 3-point line for 2 threes.
Oh, Murphy takes a quick shot, rebounded by Gabbley, but she just extends her elbow and she's called for a charge, so 10 seconds to go. It won't be shots as it was an offensive foul, but it will go back to Brunell. Kieran O'Leary is, and the biggest thing is, before we go to timeout, with Sarah Gabbley on 5 fouls.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great offensive, defensive rebound, but she did swing that elbow, so big loss for them, but I mean, time for the rest of the players to step up.
We'll be right back with you after timeout. We're tied at 61 with 10.7 to go. So 10.7 to go, tied game. Brunell struggling to get it in. That bounced out of bounds. So Suzanne, quickly, what are Brunell looking to do? Not what they just did there, obviously.
No, well, I think you got to go to Alex or you got to go to Amy here and get the ball. They'll take either. They'll take a 3 or they'll go to the basket.
Just about get it in. Machetta with the ball. 6 seconds to go. She goes early, but good defense from Black. Murphy for the shot, wins. Black gets the rebound, doesn't get it off in time. Leave overtime.
You can see the faces down there, the coaching staff on both sides. The stress in their face, the nerves in their face. It's much harder watching these games and coaching than it is actually playing them.
So the one thing that every member of staff dreads at the Cup Finals, an overtime game, but what a fantastic game it is. So we'll be right back with you for the overtime just after this little break at 61 all. So, welcome back. We're into overtime. 5 minutes, the extra period. So now finally we get a little bit of a breath as we don't, as Morrissey takes an early three, but fouls. How much of fouls going to come into that? We've Housen, and Black on 4 fouls, and they've just lost Gauberly for DCU on 5.
Well, I think losing Zara is going to be huge for them here because she's been very effective with her 20 points and I think 16, 17 rebounds there. I think with the other girls now, with less than 5 minutes to go, they need to think less about those 4 fouls and just about playing good, solid defense and going to their strengths on the offensive end. I think Brunell's tactic, as you can see, against DCU really is to force them to shoot the 3-point shot, which hasn't been very effective. I think 18% today. So I think DCU need to attack on the inside and Brunell need to get their running game going.
Maguire shot bounced out, rebound. Housen can't get it, gets her hands on the ball, and lo and behold, 2 more jump balls for the total in the last 5 seconds. And Macheta brings the ball up against the defense. Oh, that's gone on Black, and Black's just picked up her 5th foul. She tried to get out of the way, and real problems for DCU as they lose the second of their influential players, and Elizabeth Black fouls out with 4:17 to go in this overtime.
I think DCU need to recognise the personnel on the floor for Brunell who are actually causing problems, and I think Alex has been very, very inspirational from a very spirited player today, as has Amy. I think they need to make a defensive adjustment to keep her on the outside and not force DCU into defensive rotation.
So it's Fiona Hamill that's been given the responsibility for DCU. She comes back onto the floor. And Alex Macheta makes the first, misses the second. 1-point game. Quick outlet from Housen, as I've just suddenly decided to change her name in the last minute of the game for no reason. Macheta picks up the loose ball into the hands of Murphy. Murphy, who's Warren. Warren had an excellent second half. Second quarter. We haven't seen much of her in this final quarter as looks to have just tweaked her ankle, but seems to be over the pain, and she'll go to the foul line.
Yeah, I think some tired legs out there. I think Aoife's close out there was a little bit slower and she got kind of wrong footed.
So as I mentioned earlier, Coach Joan Black made a point before the game of saying how much she'd worked on her bench since last year's final, and we're going to see how they've come along in this next 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, she's been able to go 8-9 players today, so which is good when you need to have these girls ready down the, especially in an overtime game, they need to have some legs in the last 5 minutes.
Great pass from Maguire to Housen, but Housen can't finish, and it's back into the hands of Brunell, leading by 2 of Amy Murphy. She's got away Housen. Housen needs to be careful. They cannot afford to lose her. Losing Sarah Gauberly and Elizabeth Black already. Macheta, nice footwork with a fade away, and Alex Macheta has been the hot hand for Brunell throughout the game, and 24 points, and it's 4-point lead for Brunell. Yeah,
really well composed, a nice cut, settled herself inside, and then reverse pivoted there for an easy 2.
Maguire, deep 3. Huge shot from Maguire, and she makes no mistake, we're back to 1.
Well, now she just punished Brunell for the tactics there. Even a big 3 for her to keep her team in touch.
Maguire takes her personal tally to 10 off the bench. As it goes inside to Macheta, Maguire picks up the foul. And thankfully for DCU, that's only her 3rd, but it will result in 2 shots. So we have a timeout called with 2:50 to go in this overtime period. It's Brunell leading by 1, 65-64. So Alex Machete to the foul line. And she gets a friendly roll there. So it's Singleton, Super Valley, Brunell. Back up by 2, 66-64. And a chance to make it 3, which she coolly does from the foul line. So the team's got a chance of talking over, a little bit of reshuffling maybe because of fouls, or will they just keep on playing the same way as they have been?
I think they'll keep on playing the way they have been. It's hugely effective for Brunell right now. They're surrounding the inside players of DCU and forcing them to shoot the basketball. So I think same tactics for them. For DCU, they really have to kind of play a little bit closer attention to the 3 most effective kind of Brunell players out there.
So, House, Brennan, Hamill, back to Maguire. Maguire gets around Machete, and she's called for a travel. Not sure I saw that, but I'm sure it was there somewhere. So 3-point lead for Brunell, 2:25 to go. Amy Murphy.
It's a big defensive possession now for DCU. They really need to create a stop here.
Murphy. Great rebound from Machete, and it'll be another 14 seconds for Brunell. Howson needs to be careful inside to Machete. Great defense from Ali Donahue. We talked about the bench. I don't think we've seen her in this game yet, and she all of a sudden appears in overtime and makes a huge block and rebound.
Really, really good play there from the young player.
But a missed pass from DCU, and it'll go back to Brunell. And the full court pressure comes on from DCU. And a great steal from Howson. Brennan, big threes, come off the backboard, doesn't go, and foul call on Hamill. As a good rebound inside from Kira O'Shea. Good, nice box out, and she'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, what a great defensive play from Rachel there to get her hands in the basketball and kick it out to Anna. Again, I think that DCU are playing into Brunell's hands, launching a long 3-point shot where I think they really need to be exploring their inside option. Rachel really is very effective in there, and they need to try to get her the basketball for some easier scores.
O'Shea hits the first. 1:41 to go, 4-point game.
Very impressive by these young players here making their free throws this late in the game.
I think that's called the commentator's curse.
Yes, it is.
And it's 4 points. So big possession, DCU. Inside to Donahoe. Donahoe goes up, doesn't get it. Rebound Machete. She's well into double figures of rebounds now and evades all the DCU pressure. Back into the hands of Murphy, and Murphy looks to drive against Howson, who's got to be careful on 4 fouls. But good defense from Maguire, but Murphy nearly makes it, and Donahue steps on the line. So 1:06 to go, 4-point lead for Brunell, and DCU need to get a stop and a score at this point.
Absolutely, absolutely. Very, very unlucky there, but they really have to complete the defensive play all the way to rebound.
Murphy evades Howson, and Murphy, lovely basket down the middle, off the backboard, and it's a 6-point lead all of a sudden, and Brunell can see the finishing line, but DCU aren't going to give this up. They need a score here as Howson inside, doesn't get the roll, rebound Maguire, Maguire's fouled by Warren, and it will be Ethan Maguire who will need these 2 free throws to keep them in the game as they're down 6 with 50 seconds to go.
Yeah, absolutely. What a wonderful play by Amy there. Really took the ball against DCU defense and really has been superb today for Kieran's Brunell's ladies.
So Maguire can't connect in that first one. She'll have to make this one. Points all important as the clock ticks down. 50 seconds exactly to go in this Hula Hoops Women's Under-18 National Cup Final. She makes the second. It's a 5-point game. Great pressure from Brennan, and Brunell are in trouble here. It's a great dive from Morrissey, but Morrissey slides out of bounds, and it will go back to DCU, and this game is never over.
You just see what DCU do here now and what the offensive set looks like.
It's Hamill shoots long, but great job from Howson. And Warren is called for a foul, so it'll be Howson that just stretched over the back without fouling, gets the foul, gets the rebound, and she'll go to the line, and that's Brunell in foul trouble with Sinead Warren's 5th foul, and she'll take a break, but Sarah Morrissey will check in for her.
Yeah, the ball inbounds clean there. Took a difficult enough and long 2-point shot, and again Rachel was hovering around the basket there, picked up on the offensive rebound now and got fouled.
So free throws proving pivotal at the end of this game. Aoife Maguire was 1 for 2, and that's now the best that Howson can do, but they really need this one. It's 36.5 to go, and she makes no mistake with the second, and the pressure is on from DCU Mercy as they pick up full court, and a mistake from DCU. And as you talked about with it, the younger kids, just when the pressure gets on, their mind clouds a little bit, and a fundamental mistake that you would never see there from out of bounds normally.
Yeah, sometimes what happens is they think that the quicker they do it, the better it's going to be. And there, yeah, a little bit of a...
And Hamill takes another long shot, and again, Howson rebounds. Maguire throws it from half court, and that looked like it was going to be close. They have a lot more time than they think they've got, but a timeout is called, 22 seconds to go, and especially the way they're getting steals here, DCU just need to score.
They absolutely do. Again, those last two shots, I'm not 100% sure what, again, the kids' minds need to be kind of rested here a little bit. They need to have a set play to go to if they get possession and how to score.
So take a timeout here, 4-point lead for Brunell. So 22.8 seconds going overtime. It's Brunell lead DCU Mercy by 4, 70-66 in this Hula Hoops Women's Under-18 National Cup Final. Brunell's ball from the sideline into Machetta. DCU need to do something. They need a foul or go for the steal, but they can't just sit back. And it is a foul from Anna Brennan.
That'll be on his 4th foul.
And strange, Suzanne, that DCU kind of seemed to sit back. Anna Brennan even looked annoyed that she got a foul, but with 17 seconds to go, they have to force the pace somewhere.
Yeah, you would have expected to try to double team and an earlier foul, but the ball was very easily inbounded to Alex there. And not the person you want on the free throw line right now, but I think she's now shot 13 for 14, 15 from the line today, so which has been huge for Brunell.
Fantastic performance from Machetta. Now a 6-point lead, and Maguire will need to shoot a 3 this time. It's long, and it goes nothing but net to 10.9, 3-point game. DCU will need to press. They're sitting back a little bit. They get over half court, a foul, they have to foul. And a double dribble is called, and 4.9 seconds to go. There's no timeouts. They're down 3 in the backcourt. They're going to struggle to get it in there. Someone comes to the ball. They've got to be quick. They get it into Aoife Maguire, who's just hit 1. She's nowhere to go. Throws it from deep. And Brunell have held on for a 3-point win in overtime in this Hula Hoops Women's Under-18 Cup Final. And Suzanne, a hugely entertaining game. It come down to the wire, but DCU just didn't quite do enough in the end.
No, I mean, like, big shot from Aoife there towards the end to keep them in there. Over the course of 40 minutes, you really have to credit Brunell. Deeply undersized against a larger DCU team. But again, they'd seen that against Portlaoise in the semi-final and were able to deal with a phenomenal Claire Amelia. They had big plays today, or big performances by Alex and by Amy, and a supporting cast of players around who were able to contribute when needed. I think overall they kind of controlled the tempo. I think they played their game and executed it well, and I think overall very worthy winners.
Yeah, Alex Machetta finished with 26 points, 13 rebounds. Murphy finished with 22 points, 10 rebounds, and a delighted Brunell camped below us in celebration. On the other end, you have to feel for DCU Mercy, their second tough loss in the final in a row, mostly the same players, and today they showed unbelievable nerve right up till the end, and they looked like they had it, and they lost it again, and just lost in the end, and they'll be feeling terrible about themselves at the moment.
No, absolutely. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Joan and the coaching staff there, and they've done an absolutely wonderful job with these players over the last couple of seasons. I'm disappointed for them. I think we can see it there looking down there. You know, lots of tears being shed around there. They're an extremely good team. Some great players, but yeah, down the stretch just didn't have the composure or the wherewithal to kind of close it out. They had their runs, they came back, and maybe a little bit of foul trouble crept up towards the end there, where they lost the likes of Elizabeth and Zara in that overtime period, where they really kind of needed that composure on the floor. So yes, disappointing for DCU, but again, to take nothing away from Brunell, absolutely wonderful game.
Yeah, and the exuberance of youth, is that something that they'll take away? And the benefit of these playing on the huge stage, the under 18 level, is even when we saw Brunel with a chance in regulation time to run the clock down, they had a chance to run the clock down and took an early shot. Something that both teams will learn about clock management as they go on through their basketball careers, and I'm sure they'll be back in plenty of these finals.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it'd be great for both of these teams to actually look at some of these plays. I mean, there's no better learning than a breakdown of exactly what happened, and it helps players go back to the moment to think, what were they thinking, and the choices that they make. So yeah, I mean, I expect to see on both sides of here quite a number of these players potentially back here next year, under 20, and we know that certainly some of them will be stepping up to Division 1, if not Premier League status.
So Coach Kieran O'Leary goes and gives a few hugs to the distraught DCU Mercy players. They can be hugely proud of their performance today, but it is the winning Brunel team that go up and collect their medals. From the area boards, Joe Norton and Teresa Walsh, and chair of the board, Jackie Dunn.
It's out with great support from the Brunel faithful on these occasions. All their occasions, all their basketball games, you see the faithful there, so great support.
A very well supported club, and they also made themselves heard this morning for Neptune, and a lot of them were in situ for Demons last night. And their coach Kieran O'Leary, whose attitude with the girls throughout was amazing to watch, and that even under pressure when it's going down to the final shot, he always had a smile on his face and made the girls feel at ease.
Yeah, he's got great confidence in his girls, and they don't come away from their game plan. They'll live and die by it, but he's done a fantastic job in Brunel, which is evident across their underage success, and the status of the Premier League team within that competition now is well established. So a great job by Kieran and the rest of the Brunel guys.
And Alex Machetta is named MVP. She started the game with the first 4 points of the game. She ended up as top scorer in the game with 27 points and 13 rebounds, and she really was a phenomenal person for Brunel to turn to when they needed scores.
Yeah, I think, when we're looking at the numbers, and points and rebounds, hugely important, but she controlled the basketball for Brunel. and only had about 3 turnovers for the game. She also shot 14 for 16 on the free throw line, and many of them towards the end of the game. So well deserving across lots of the stats.
And there we see Brunell lift the cup. And that starts the celebrations. So Suzanne, thanks for joining us. I know you'll be back with us later for the main Hula Hoops Women's National Cup final on TG Car. But final word on the winners, Brunell?
Yeah, thanks a million, Matt. It's been thoroughly enjoyable. I mean, I have a special interest here because I coach under 18s myself. Like I said, on the day, you need some heroes in cup finals, and I think Brunell certainly had a couple of heroes out there, and led by Alex. Very well deserving of their win today, and couldn't be happier for a great bunch of girls and a great club.
So, due to the overtime game, the next game on is the Hula Hoops Senior Women's National Cup Final between Oblit Dynamos and NUIG Mystics. That will now start in about 20 minutes time from now, as the girls are just below us warming up. So stay with us on the live stream, and don't forget TG Car 5:15 tip-off, Hula Hoops Women's National Cup Final, Team Montanati Hotel and Piebald Calesta. We'll catch you in about 20 minutes time.